Hello, welcome to the Crypto with Kash Cast episode number 25. My name is Duncan Morland. I'm your host, and I am joined by Kashaya Bassi. Hello, Kash.
Hey, how you doing? You right?
I don't need to tell everyone, Kash is the most knowledgeable crypto person on the planet and possibly in this universe. And that we're having a illness special this podcast because we're both not very well.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a flu going around. I don't think it's a C word.
which is COVID, not the other C word, which I don't know if we could put on YouTube, probably. How are you doing, Kash?
I'm doing better. I've gone through like half a box to a full box of tissues.
Yeah,
been sneezing, got a runny nose. But
it's going to get you to clarify for everyone what you're using those tissues for.
I thought I'd make sure. But yeah, no, I'm good enough to be. I'm feeling better now, so I'm good enough to be on this podcast right now. How are you feeling?
It looks like you're in your boardroom, to be honest, just ready.
I'm just about to fly off.
Yeah, I was an airport.
It's an airport. I mean, I'm assuming it's an airport. That's what I thought it was. Actually, maybe no. It is a boardroom. I thought the seats were facing towards where the planes are.
Well, it does look like a boardroom in an airport.
I might have got lost.
Your side hustle, just own an airport. I'm all right. I've just mine's weird. It's just like I feel fine, except I just cough loads of rubbish up in the morning, which is what our audience wants to hear.
Yeah, definitely. I think you should go into more details.
Yeah, I'll just describe no one wants to hear that. We got some topics today. We're going to have just like a bit of a ramble chat, but we've got a few things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Anthony Hopkins selling his NFT. I didn't even realize he had an NFT. We're going to talk about, what was it, Mango something getting hacked for 100 million? Mango Markets. We might talk about a bit about the crypto markets in general, and maybe just about British politics, because that seems to be the biggest thing impacting UK markets recently. So Kash, Anthony Hopkins, who is he for people who don't know? I actually can't remember. Is he an actor?
Yeah, Anthony Hopkins, the way I remember, he's from Hannibal.
Yeah,
he's a very well-known actor. And he's an Academy Award winner, and he recently launched an NFT series in collaboration with a company called Orange Comet. And he essentially announced 1,000 NFTs, and he's released these to the public to be sold. And they're all original cinematic pieces from his different performances over the years. And they actually sold out in under 10 minutes, which is a huge achievement right now.
Yeah. Are they video clips or?
From what I recall, I think they were just images. So there's some videos and there are images as well. What's interesting is that the main thing is that he actually made history by selling out in less than 7 minutes on OpenSea, and it's an even bigger deal, the fact that he did this during a bear market where a lot of attention has shifted away from crypto right now, which usually happens in previous cycles.
Yeah. So was he like involved in this sort of talking about?
I think he was involved in the direction of the project. Of course, the NFTs themselves are from his works in the past, but I think he had sort of an input on the direction of the NFT, which is nice to see. I've seen him tweet a couple of times about different cryptocurrencies that he's interested in.
Oh, really? He's quite old now.
He is. I think he's like 70, 80, if not older. But it's always good to see people actually engaging with these new technologies, and he's done very well. So good for him.
Yeah, that's cool. So, something that we were talking about earlier before the podcast, in our secret meeting before the podcast, was AI generated art.
Yeah,
and I don't know if any of the audience have seen any of this stuff, but could you just tell people what AI generated art is, and then maybe we can just talk about maybe the implications and how it relates to crypto?
Yeah, so essentially, I've been seeing a lot of AI generated art on my timeline on social media. Tons of videos on YouTube now where it's essentially an algorithm, or you can literally write a message or a description of an image, and the AI will use machine learning or use artificial intelligence to actually paint that picture. So you could make up something like, a red shoe on top of a blue building flying through space, and the algorithm will essentially paint that for you. and it will look very realistic as well, as unrealistic as that sounds.
Yeah, no, I tried one of them because there's a bunch of different sites coming out. Some of them, I don't know if some of them are paid, but some of them you can use for free, at least at
A
the
lot
beginning.
of them, well, so basically you have to sign up to, there's a wait list right now because there's millions of people trying to get on board. I think one of the most popular one right now is DALL-E, but there's mini versions that people have basically scraped from the internet. There's Stable Fusion, and there's a bunch of others as well.
So are people using this software to make NFTs, do you know?
Some people definitely are. I mean, they're using these NFTs to, they're creating art that they can sell on OpenSea and all these NFT marketplaces. Others are essentially just using it for fun.
Yeah. And do you think, I mean, I guess there's, I don't know whether it's a bit of a big conversation, like AI kind of taking over art. I don't know whether that's
the thing. There is, you know, of course, there is a discussion that there's a possibility that AI art could completely replace these digital artists. And, you know, these are the first iterations of this technology that we're seeing at the moment. In 5 years, 10 years time, it's going to be even more sophisticated, and who knows what they're going to be able to do. I think it's going to get to a stage where we're able to create whole movies with AI. I think there are some existing forms of that happening right now, but I think it's going to be even more enhanced and sophisticated in the future.
Yeah, I saw a breakdown from a movie, a graphic design studio, or where they had done, I think it was an Indian film, and they showed how they sort of, I don't know, took a scene without many people in, you know, a big scene with a few crowds, and then turned it into a scene with, like, you know, tens of thousands of people in, and it looked amazing.
Yeah.
I guess one of the things I think is, you know, like, you know how YouTube kind of gave the average person to become, you know, the ability to sort of produce documentaries, do whatever.
Yeah.
And the same with Twitch, like, kind of, you know, the average, or podcasting, like we're doing a podcast, we have obviously no experience or expertise in it, even after 25 episodes, but like anybody can just set up a podcast and have a go, kind of thing. Like,
yeah, I mean, that already exists. I'm seeing videos of, for example, Tom Cruise. Someone's basically superimposed his face onto theirs, and he's talking and saying things, and it looks exactly like him, but of course it's not him. And then I'm seeing videos and essentially software that you can buy that there's a human that anything you type it will say, and it will make it look realistic, but you know that human's never existed. I think there's a website. Don't quote me on this.
It's a software called Liz Truss. I think I've seen it on the
there's that, but there's also I think the website's thispersondoesnotexist.com.
Oh god, that's terrifying. Yeah,
and it's basically an AI generated image of a face of a person that looks 100% real, but this person doesn't exist. It's just different features of different bodies, different faces put together, and it looks like a whole new human being that doesn't exist.
Sometimes those photos have like a terrifying, like, thing on the side, like it just messes up slightly.
Yes, slightly.
Really weird.
Or like the eyebrow, you can see there's an overlap.
Yeah, and it's like it's terrifying. Or the background's like warped in a way that just makes it really horrible.
But you know, with you know the current political climate and how we're seeing misinformation being shared on the internet, it does worry me. Like, imagine someone creates a video of a politician saying a certain thing, and you know, people who are none the wiser will just share it, not realizing that it's completely fake. You know, it is kind of worrying to think about.
I wonder if it kind of you know, with all this stuff, it kind of places a more of a premium on interaction in the world. You know, like, okay, a physical piece of art that I've seen you paint, you know, has a different kind of value to something generated online.
Similar to how like homemade or like handmade.
Yeah.
Or like goods are essentially more expensive.
Yeah. Or like, I need, you know, I'm going to go and see what somebody has to say in person, you know, like a politician or whatever, because you can't trust, like you said, if the technology gets that far. I'm too stupid to know to think about the proper implications of it, but
it's scary because if you think about it, so many. I think there have even been genocides in the past that have essentially been triggered by rumors. You know, rumors that the other side is saying this, or they're preparing to do this and that. And it's initiated a genocide. So just imagine what a very well-crafted AI video has the power to do if this was happening before with old technology. Just imagine what is possible with new technology. And I know that sounds a bit dark, but I think, unfortunately, that's just the reality of the world we live in. And there are always going to be bad actors who are going to take advantage of technology for their own benefit.
Maybe some good stuff can come out of it too.
I mean, there's people creating beautiful art as well.
Digital art is amazing. A lot of it as well. Yeah. So, $100 million hack in the crypto sphere.
Yeah. So, Mango Markets. It's essentially a decentralized finance protocol. It was hacked for around $120 million. What the hacker essentially did was then propose that he or she would return the stolen items if they could keep a $47 million bounty.
Wow.
And the team essentially accepted that. So the hacker got to keep around $47 million, return the rest of the money. So no one from the protocol lost money, and he made off with essentially $47 million for free. I think it's turned out to be the biggest bounty paid out in crypto ever, because a lot of these projects have bounty programs where if you find a flaw or vulnerability in the code, you can essentially let the team know and they'll give you a bounty. The second biggest one, I think, was $1 million. Someone was paid $1 million for finding a critical vulnerability in one of the codes. This person was paid $47 million for what they did, and I think that will be the biggest for a very long time.
So what's stopping people from that, who the developers and stuff, or their legal teams, trying to find out who this guy is, just because they've agreed not to because of this bounty? Or?
That is part of the agreement, and it's all essentially agreed upon through the blockchain. So the hacker has evidence that the team have said, okay, we will not seek any sort of damages from you, or we promise not to go after you if you return a certain amount of funds, which he has done. It's all available to be viewed and verified on the blockchain. And in return, he gets to keep $47 million in the process.
What is MangoChain?
It's essentially a DeFi protocol that allows you to earn interest on your different crypto holdings.
Right. Okay. And what do you think of it as is it on Ethereum or?
No, it's Solana based.
Solana. Okay. And one you like, or?
Not one that I've used before. No.
Okay.
But it still had over $120 million on the platform, so it was used by many people, of course.
So the money that he gave back, or he or she gave back, that covered people's losses, did it?
Yeah. Okay. And then he essentially kept the excess.
Good guy hacker, or good woman hacker.
Yeah.
Good person hacker. Okay. And the crypto markets in general, how have they been faring?
Right now, at the time of recording, Bitcoin is actually painting a green candle. It's just above $19,000, just ranging. It's been here for a while now. I think the markets are in wait and see mode. It's been here for, I'm looking all the way back. We've not moved since perhaps before September, even August, September. We were still around the same price. I think traders, are in wait and see mode to see what central banks decide to do with regards to inflation and governments as well.
Well, all the traders are just trading the British pound at the moment, aren't they? They're busy.
Yeah, they don't have to do much to make money. Just hold anything but the pound, and you become rich overnight.
And have we seen a knock-on effect from the stuff happening in the UK economy to crypto at all?
I think there was this discussion about how difficult it is for crypto projects to set up headquarters in the UK. I think Crypto.com just chose Paris, for example, for their new headquarters. I think they invested $100 to $150 million, euros actually, in Paris to set up their European hub there. I mean, it would have been nice to get that in London, but I think the regulation side of things in the UK is not clear enough for these companies, and they're simply just not going to risk it.
It was like that earlier in the year when I was looking into a few different yield platforms. They're basically operating in a grey area. There was like some kind of list the government or a part of the government had put out. That basically said these companies are okay to operate here, but it wasn't. There wasn't the regulatory stuff wasn't in place for companies to really know. So they were kind of able to operate, kind of not. It was in this great.
Which is why a lot of these companies are choosing to, move to Dubai or Singapore or even Portugal for a while, because the companies there, I feel like, were a lot more proactive when it came to crypto regulation. Unfortunately, the UK government have been pretty slow to deal with the UK side of regulation for crypto. So, these companies, they're not going to risk setting up business here and the government maybe turning around tomorrow and saying, actually, we're going to tax this much, or you're not allowed to run this sort of protocol here. So they're just choosing to go somewhere where the rules are laid out already and that they're able to pay less taxes. And it's all clear from the outset what they're going to get there.
Do you know which countries are kind of most proactive on laying out clear?
At the moment, a lot of these companies are actually moving from Singapore to Dubai. Dubai is becoming essentially a hub for crypto activity. A lot of these businesses are based there. Of course, they're also based in Canary Islands, where they can, and some, I think, Bahamas as well, which is where FTX is. They're inviting a lot of crypto companies because it's tax-free, and it's just generally a more friendly environment to set up a crypto business up there.
And I guess it's a global technology, isn't it, essentially? So...
Yeah, exactly. I mean, all you need is access to the internet, essentially. But as long as you're within a country that has guidelines and set rules for what you can operate, then I think it's much easier for companies like that.
I just want to share a quick story, because I saw that Santander has got a savings account that's paying like 2.75% per year or something. I was like, oh, that's good. I'll open an account with them. Entered my email, and now they want me to post them a bill and a copy of my passport. I was like, post it? What? Like, surely I can just get on the app or like take a photo. No, you can't email us. You got to. I know this sounds like it's a very minor problem, and it will just take a few extra days, but it's a bit crazy.
I know. No, I totally understand what you mean. I mean, we're seeing technology sort of improving in such vast ways in other areas, and you'd expect banking to keep up with it. And if anything, I would hope banking to be on top of it, leading the way in a way. But you still have to like provide, as you said, send in documents, get someone to manually approve it. It's like this is essentially the same thing that's been happening for 10, 20 years now.
Even if after they've been disrupted, like by, the fintech banks like Monzo and Starling, like they're mainly app based, aren't they? You can do all that stuff through. I'm just annoyed basically about that.
It is annoying, and like you said, these fintech companies are providing much better customer service. If you have an issue, for example, with Monzo or Revolut or Starling, like you said, you can contact customer service straight, or you don't have to stay on the phone for half an hour to get connected to someone. You can just chat with them the same way you're used to chatting with anyone, And I think it's just much better, and hopefully these banks will catch up one day.
Fingers crossed, because 2.75% is well below inflation, but it's still much better than what bank accounts have been paying for a long time. Before we wrap up, we'll do a shorter podcast today because we're both croaky. Is there anything you've had your eye on in the crypto space? Just, I don't know, kind of projects you've been looking at, trends, anything like that?
I think it's interesting because the metaverse is again becoming a popular topic. I actually shared a video in the Telegram community. Facebook/Meta is coming out with a new VR headset, and I think a lot of people have misconceptions when it comes to the metaverse. They think it's just these pixelated games that they can play, but the video actually shows that you can actually have a whole work set up with these VR headsets. So you have a laptop in front of you, and then once you put it on, you have these huge, massive screens that you see in front of you, and that can help you work and essentially multitask much more effectively. You can have massive screens. You can replace those screens with certain charts or whatever. Whichever. You can have 3D models, for example. If you are a lecturer, you can have a 3D model of like a skeleton or a certain body part that you're talking about, and you can show this to students all over the world. They don't have to be there in person for you to show how the artery works or different bodily functions are working. I think that side of things is very interesting, and I think as VR technology and these sort of VR goggles technologies become more sophisticated, I think more and more people are going to start to see the potential that they have and realize just how early we are and just how much more advanced it's going to get in the future.
Yeah, I think even the size of the VR goggles, when they're just like the size of a pair of glasses,
yeah,
that would be completely different. And like you were saying, like, so the thing you shared was a video of somebody on their laptop in like a office or a cafe or whatever, and then all these screens pop out above the laptop, with extra bits on. And you watch videos of traders, or depending on your job, coding, whatever, having loads of screens really helps your job, and you can have that in a VR space. So when I go work in shared work cafes, we'll all be sat there with our VR headsets on, just sort of.
I think that's a very interesting side of things. And I think what's also worth mentioning is that it's not just virtual reality, it's augmented reality as well, which is you still see the real world. It's just that it's augmented in the sense that you have an extra screen, or, for example, you can have a TV the size of your wall, for example. Your whole wall can be turned into a TV. Augmented reality, I think, is going to become increasingly popular in the years to come. And as you said, the technology itself is going to become much more portable, much more sleek. So it could be simply a pair of glasses that you put on, and it will just look, to everyone else, it look like a normal pair of glasses, but to you, you're seeing the world in a totally different way.
I vaguely remember like Google had Google glasses or something.
I think it was it was ahead of its time,
Yeah, I don't know whether
what was it, Google Lens?
Yeah, it was like, I don't know whether was it just an idea or was it? Did they actually?
I think they actually started making the devices, but it just never took off. I think it was ahead of its time, and no one was really ready for it. But I think with these devices that Facebook is making, or Meta, people are going to be more familiarized with the technology, and it's definitely here to stay, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. Just before we go, I just thought we could do a little tease for your latest Crypto with Cash write-up. The coin is, without giving it away, it's a kind of decentralized Binance. Is that right? So
essentially, yeah.
How would you? Yeah. What would be your?
It's a decentralized exchange that anyone, anywhere can use. As you said, you don't need to provide documents and send documents to anyone to verify your account. All you need is an Ethereum wallet or essentially an Arbitrum wallet, which is essentially the same thing. You just use MetaMask to log in, and then you can make your trades. And it's very good because it's cheap fees. The fees are comparable to some of the largest exchanges out there. And I definitely think, these decentralized versions of centralized platforms are definitely here to stay as well.
And can you trade on that platform? Can you trade non-crypto assets?
As far as I know, not on this platform, but there are decentralized exchanges out there that do offer these sort of traditional stock assets as well.
Right. Okay. And if it does turn out to be as big as Binance, it will be a good investment at its current.
Of course, these exchanges, the more adoption they get, the more value and revenue goes to the token holders. So as crypto and the industry as a whole grows, then more value, the value of the token will increase at the same time as well.
Yeah. If anyone would like access to Cash's latest write-up, you can become a member of Crypto with Cash. You'll get access to the portfolio, bonus recommendations, all past write-ups, the Telegram community, which is where we will chat about stuff, which was kicking off this week in a good way, like conversation about all the crazy stuff going on in the UK. At one point, I had like 60 missed messages on there. But yeah, so thank you for your time today, Cash.
Thank you very much for having me.
That's all right. I hope you start to feel better soon. And me.
Thank you. Me too. And you too as well.
Thank you. Thank you for anyone who's listening. You subscribe if you want more. We appreciate a like. Drop us a comment or a question. And until next time, goodbye.
Take care. Bye.